Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. In this video I'm going to show you how I use my iPad for note taking, what apps do I use, what other techniques do I use. I will show you 5 good examples, 5 or 6 good examples through which you can apply it yourself and try to improve your note taking as such. I'll start recording on my iPad and you can see what all I'm doing right here. Yes. So what the app that I use for note taking is Goodnotes. So let's open Goodnotes here. So this is the UI that you'll get. Here's the plus sign, as you can see. If you click it, you will see there are notebooks, study set, folders, images, scanned documents. It's pretty self-explanatory, but I'm going to run through it fast. So notebook is basically a notebook. Yes, and you can write your notes. For example, if you have a subject A, you can write all the contents of subject A in that notebook, just like a physical notebook, right? Then you have folder. You can keep mutual notebooks into one particular folder. I'm going to show you how I use. So let's begin. Here I have made several folders, for example, for my gate notes, for my IIT Madras. So let's click IIT Madras first. So as you can see, I have 3 folders. One is for coursework, second is for research work, third is for skill improvement. Now all the coursework that I have done, I have completed 2 semesters till now, that is 4 quarters. And the subjects that I have done in those quarters or in those semesters are stored in this coursework folder. The second is the research work. All the research paper that I read, all the research idea that I get, or I read something in the research paper which I think it's very important, so I put it into that folder. Skill improvement is basically all the softwares that I'm learning, everything, the extra added skill set that I'm going to add to my arsenal is basically put it into the skill improvement folder. So example number 1, this is my notes from machine learning. The topic here I have addressed is called gradient descent. So here I have written the title. What is gradient descent I have written right here. If you don't want to spend time making diagrams, you can straight away click the photo from the screen that you are viewing. As you can see, I have clicked this photo. I have made all the necessary points that I wanted to write here. Basically the questions that I want to ask at that point of time. What can be the first approach or what can be the second approach, why this approach is wrong or why this approach is right. As you can see, making this diagram is pretty difficult. So what I've done is straight away pause the video, click the picture from the iPad, put it here and then tried explaining right here. For example, if you have any small notes that you want to put in, you can put this note over here and you can write it as you want. So that's one way of writing. It's pretty hot here, so bear with me. As you can see, I can make graph pretty easily. I can make all the diagrams using different colors, and with the thing which you can't do on a regular notebook is you can't zoom in and write something which is very small. For example, if you don't have any space, you can just zoom it and write it pretty small, and when you refer it back some other day, you can clearly see what's written here. Otherwise you would have spent a lot of time figuring out places to write. So that's one benefit. Let's go to other examples, other subjects. So this is the subject which I have. This is called ORA, Operation Research Applications. As you can see, it's pretty straightforward. You don't have any diagrams as such. You have mathematical models. You have to write the objective function, then write the constraints and try to solve it in that aspect. So it's pretty straightforward. Again, this is the transportation model and this is the assignment model. Here's the table assigned. You have your objective function and then you have your constraints. Similarly, you have your objective function, you have constraints. As you can see, I was feeling kind of nice, so I used a black background for my paper. Here, as you can see, I have used white background for my paper. Personally, I suggest to use a white background itself because people usually think that this is black, right? So this will use less battery. But I don't think that's the case. That's only true for OLED screens, but this is not an OLED screen. This is a micro LED screen, so I don't think that it actually works. The other thing that I want to show you is how to integrate Excel and Goodnotes together. So as you can see, this is from a subject called financial management, and I was learning something called capital structure. A quick note that I have made quick note of the previous class which sir has taught. Sir usually tells us that, so I wrote it in a small note over here. If I want to see what happened in the previous class, I can just zoom it out and read it if I want to. For example, sir was explaining it into the Excel in the board, right? So I clicked the picture. Though the picture was not clear, I tried to make it myself. Oh shit, sorry. Yeah. I put the red line, I highlighted the red line, I highlighted the blue line. I understood what this means, what this means. I used here Microsoft Office right here. Yeah, financial management course right here. I used it here. I took the screenshot like this. I can adjust whatever I want to. After that, I copied it right here, and as you can see, it made my work pretty easy. I could annotate whatever I wanted to. What this RO means, I wrote it here. What this RD means, I wrote it here. For me, it was pretty good because I could join what I did in my Microsoft Office and what I did on my Goodnotes. I could join them both. Otherwise, I would have been forced to go to one app, then go to other app, then go to other app. So this hassle wasn't good in my opinion. Yeah, here as you can see, I used a different kind of notebook. I used one with a border right here and a straight line, because I thought microeconomics is a subject in which you need to write a lot. It's basically writing English. So as you can see, I wrote a lot here. So the straight line helped me in writing that. One more good thing is the graphs here are pretty serious. As you can see, there are very small things and small notations that I had to put right here, and if you would do that in a simple notebook, and that would be difficult. You would have to take a big real estate and make all the lines and this and that. Too much hassle. What I clearly did, and it was pretty easy in my opinion, is just make a graph, zoomed it, wrote right here, made dotted line, rounded it off, used highlighters of different colors, tried to highlight this, whatever this is important. For example, this area shows profit, that is without regulations as per whatever that is, and this area shows loss. So making this into a real book is very difficult. So this note-taking method is that thing for me. Also, for example, if you can see, what I have done to save time here is I made this on my own, and then I copied this here like this, and then added more things into it. If I select this thing and I want to make another market firm graph, so what I'll do, I just copy it, and if I long press, and then I'll paste it, and I can adjust it right here, and I will put it let's say here. Right now I can clearly zoom, right? I can see it very in high definition, and I can mark whatever I want to. If I want to let's say I want to adjust this line over here and try to analyze what situation it may be. You get it, right? It saves time. It saves a lot of time. The other way that I use Goodnotes is for reading PDFs. Now in research work, what usually happens is you need to read a lot of research paper. For example, as you can see here, I have downloaded this research paper called the Lagrange relaxation method. So what usually would happen is I would read it through my laptop, highlight it in the PDF, but I can't annotate it, right? This way in which what Goodnotes and iPad lets me do is I can simply write what this is. For example, I want to write it, I will write it right here. This is a Lagrange multipliers. I can use different colors of highlighters right here. I can annotate it if I didn't understand anything. Oh, this is extreme, this constraint is difficult. I would want what is lambda t, I don't know. Let's see. I have a question and I'll ask sir for it. Yes, you can share this annotation to your professors, to your friends, and ask questions through it itself. And I think it's pretty good. This is how I use my Goodnotes. You can see there are many videos online on YouTube in which they show you how to use Goodnotes and this and that. I would not say that. I just showed you 5 examples how I use it. It will give you an idea. If you are using an iPad, you can straight away go and do your creativity on your own. You don't have to copy anyone. Use your imagination, use your logic, and do it yourself. In that way you can customize your own notes, and maybe you can sell those notes in future, or whatever you may do, you want to do it, or maybe you can refer it yourself. That depends on you. This is how I use my notes. The one app which I also use is called Notion. If you want to know how I increase my productivity or decrease my workload, through Notion, do tell me. I have a very good video planned for Notion of how I use Notion. Basically, it has helped me tremendously, and I think it will help you too.